Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Carla Plasencia, and on behalf of the student world, I welcome you all to this awesome live session that we have today. I won't take much of your time. I will just show you the platform and how does it work super fast. So we have the chat at the right side of the screen. If you can say hi here or just let us know where you're watching us from so we can get to know you better and I know that you're listening and that you can hear us and see us clearly, that will be amazing. So I see here some. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Simen, for sharing in the chat, and Yuan also Pakistan, Philippines. This is great. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so here is the chat. As I said, this is for saying hi, for sharing where you're watching us from, and stuff like that. But if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can share them on the second tab. There is a questions tab, and all you have to do is click ask a new question, type your question. We will keep track of them during the presentation, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. If you want to ask a question that is already there, what you can do is you can vote for it, instead of asking it twice, so it's easier for us to track. And you can do that by clicking on the square that you will see on the right side of the no, sorry, on the left side of the question. Okay, and finally, you will see some polls. We will launch some polls during the presentation, and you will see them on the third tab on the polls tab. Okay, so I think that's it from my side. I will just now introduce you super quick to our presenters for today. So we have Frederick and we have Nadia, and they are from Université Laval, and they will share with us some amazing information about this institution. So thank you guys for being here, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Carla. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Nadia Redman. I'm a student information specialist in the International Recruitment Office at Université Laval. And I'm joined here by my colleague, Fred Verrett. Fred, you can say hello if you wish.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are.
Yeah, well, considering the chat, it looks like we've got people from the Philippines, Mongolia, even Colombia. So afternoon or evening for most, except for our Colombian, who is probably the same or a similar time zone as us. Just to give you guys a sense of what's going to happen today, I'm going to go ahead and give you a presentation. The presentation will take about 25 minutes. And then after that, we are going to start the question and answer session. And as Carla said, you'll submit your questions in the question tab. And we're going to use those questions to just to give you some more information about the program, to answer any questions or concerns that you might have. And I will go ahead and moderate those questions. So I'll choose the questions out of the ones that you send to us in the questions tab, and then Fred will answer them. Fred is a student information specialist, and he's also a certified immigration advisor, or a regular, what is it called? A regulated international student immigration advisor. Every now and then I have to really think about that because there's a lot of letters in that acronym, RISIA. We will go ahead and get started, but that's basically the structure of today's presentation. So with that, Fred is going to disappear for a few minutes while I share my screen, and we will get started. Okay, so I believe you see my screen now, and let's go ahead and before we give a presentation plan, we'll go ahead and start the polls. So we've got a couple of polls here. Carla's going to launch them. The first is basically so that we can get a sense of where you're from, and then the second one is just to get a sense of what what you'd like to study. So we'll go ahead and give you about 15 to 20 seconds to go ahead and click on the polls button and complete the poll that's appearing on your screen. So it won't be long. Okay, just about 10 more seconds to go ahead and complete the poll. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and all done. Okay, so I don't know, Carla, are we able to actually share the results of the poll on the screen? If not, I can just tell everyone.
We cannot see them on screen,
Okay,
but you guys can see them on the poll section once you already shared your answer or clicking on the eye icon.
perfect. Okay, so but basically it looks like we've got 65% of our attendees are from Asia and 12% from Sub-Saharan Africa, 12% from, or 11% now from Latin America. So welcome to all of you, and we're so glad that you're here. Carla, can we launch the second poll real quick about the area study?
Sure.
So I'll give you about 15 seconds to complete that. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay. So taking a look at the poll here, it looks like really most of you, 60% of you, don't fall within the categories that we pre-established in this particular poll. So the poll asks about, basically what level of high school you're in, if you have 2 years left before university, or you've already begun your university studies, if you're in your last year of high school. So 60% is other. So I'm assuming that means that most of you maybe are looking for either a graduate degree, or you are younger than the categories that we have, or the options that we have in the poll. But I guess we will see in your questions and in your registration information more information about what your background is. Okay, so polls are done. Let's move on and do the presentation here. So here's the presentation plan. I'm going to give you an overview of Quebec City so that you know where we are. And then I'll give you kind of a big picture view of Université Laval. We'll talk about its reputation, its campus, student services, and things like that. We're also going to discuss undergraduate programs and admissions requirements. And all of these will kind of give you the context that you need in order to better understand the French Immersion Pathway and how it works. And then finally, we'll talk about the admissions process and the estimated cost of attendance so that you know how much it costs basically to come and study with us. So we have a lot of information to cover today. So let's go ahead and get started. So Université Laval is located in beautiful Quebec City, Canada. Quebec City is the capital of the province of Quebec, which is located on the east coast of Canada. Quebec City is located close to major cities such as Montreal, Ottawa, Boston, and Toronto. The province of Quebec is officially a French-speaking province, and this is very evident in the capital, Quebec City. In fact, our city is a terrific place to learn French, as there are many opportunities to practice. But that being said, many people in Quebec also speak English, which can be helpful. Quebec City is a beautiful city. It's located on the banks of the St. Lawrence River, which is one of the most important rivers in North America. And in this picture, you can see part of the historic sector of the city, along with the iconic Chateau Frontenac, which is the most photographed hotel in the world. Quebec City can be found among the top ranked cities in North America and in the world in many publications. For example, we are consistently ranked as the top destination to visit in Canada, but we're also listed among the best cities in the world for families, for safety, and for students. Our society highly values education, and our educational institutions at all levels really are superb. Quebec City was founded over 400 years ago by the French explorer Samuel Champlain. The city is known for its charming mix of European-inspired architecture and the modernity of life in North America. The images here reflect that charm and history. In fact, Quebec City was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985, thanks to its walled historic neighborhood. Quebec City is also very popular for its music and cultural festivals that are offered throughout the year, rain or shine, winter or summer. Plus, the city is home to many parks and green spaces and close to some beautiful provincial parks and waterfalls. In short, there's a lot to do for fun here. Besides all of the cultural activities available, Quebec City also offers a very favorable economic environment. The unemployment rate in Quebec is among the lowest in Canada, and many jobs are available. Plus, the affordable cost of living makes Quebec City very attractive, especially to students. Finally, although Quebec is not a large metropolis, the city is open to the world. It is home to people from many different countries and cultures, and with its international airport, Quebec City attracts tourists from around the world. In short, we believe that Quebec City is an ideal location for students who want to pursue their higher education in Canada. So now that we've talked a little bit about Quebec City, we would like to give you an overview of Université Laval. So here's an aerial view of our campus. You can see that the university is located in the heart of Quebec City. The campus is nearly 2 square kilometers in size and is conveniently located next to grocery stores, restaurants, many services, and several large shopping centers. Plus, the campus is a major hub in the city's public transportation network. In short, all of these features make our location very convenient for students. 60% of the campus is comprised of green space, walking paths, woods, and bike paths. It is a very pretty environment throughout the year, and you'll often see students, faculty, and staff taking walks, jogging, or riding bikes during the day in order to enjoy some fresh air and sunshine. We're very proud of the state-of-the-art facilities offered at Université Laval. For example, our library is renovated and offers huge volumes of text, both in printed and digital formats. The university also has made major investments in its classroom spaces over the years in order to integrate technology into the students' learning experience. So all of these important features have not gone unnoticed. In fact, Université Laval is ranked among the top 20 French language universities in the world and is ranked among the best universities for student satisfaction in Canada. A commitment to sustainable development is part of the core mission of the university. We're ranked 6th in the world and 2nd in Canada for our efforts to fight climate change. In fact, the university has been carbon neutral since 2015 and was the first university in Canada to do so voluntarily. 47,000 students are enrolled at Université Laval, the vast majority of which are studying at the undergraduate level. 17% of our students come from other countries. In fact, around 120 countries are represented in our student body. This multicultural environment creates a very enriching academic and sociocultural experience for our students. During its 350-year history, 335,000 students have graduated from Université Laval, and this includes around a dozen people who later held the office of Prime Minister of Canada or of Premier of Quebec. So now let's talk a little bit about the services that we provide to our students. Université Laval is a full-service university, and there are many, many services available here to help you succeed. Clearly, I will not be able to talk about all of these services today, but I do want to take a moment to mention a few of them to you. First, it's important to know that housing is available on campus. In fact, there are about 2,300 dorm rooms available in 4 residence halls, one of which is dedicated exclusively to women. We also offer a wide variety of dining services throughout the campus, as well as many common areas where students can gather to enjoy each other's company or to participate in special activities. Our students' health and well-being is very important to us, and as a result, we're proud to be home to the largest university sports complex in Eastern Canada, where students have free or discounted access to a wide variety of facilities and activities, including weight rooms, cardio equipment, swimming pools, indoor soccer, running tracks, a rock climbing wall, and more. We highly encourage our students to join clubs on campus in order to make friends and to build their network. With over 200 student organizations on campus, there is surely a group that you can enjoy. A very important resource on campus is our professional development office. This is where you'll learn how to search for a job or an internship in Quebec, connect with employers, and learn more about the labor market. Our professional development service is very active and very committed to serving our students even long after they graduate. And finally, it's important to mention that our School of Languages, not only do they offer a wide variety of courses in foreign languages, but they can also offer you tutoring and support to help you with your French. So let's move on now and talk about our bachelor's degree programs. First, in Quebec, you will often hear about the cycle d'études, which represents levels of study. Premier cycle is for undergraduate studies, like the bachelor's degree, which takes about 3 to 4 years to complete. Deuxième cycle and troisième cycle are at the graduate level with master's and doctoral degrees. In today's presentation, we are mostly focused on bachelor's degrees. Université Laval offers 550 programs in nearly all areas of study. This includes a good number of programs that are unique in Canada or even in North America. To be admitted to Université Laval, it's important to have a strong academic record. In the admissions process, we look very closely at your grades. Most of our programs require a grade point average that is equivalent to at least 3.0 out of 4.33 to be admissible. Some programs are even more competitive, though, so it's very important to check the official description of the program that interests you in order to determine whether you are admissible. The reality is that each of our programs have their own admissions requirements. So what you want to do is use the website that's shown on your screen to look at the official description of the program. And then you'll see all the criteria that we look at for that particular program, as well as a list of documents that must be submitted with your application. At the undergraduate level, students must have 13 years of pre-university schooling. This is a little different in Quebec than it is in other regions where only 12 years of pre-university schooling is needed. If you do only have 12 years of schooling before applying to Université Laval, please don't worry. You can still be accepted to the university for a qualifying year of prerequisite coursework or to the French Immersion Pathway, which I'll discuss next. Sorry, I just wanted to take a quick drink of my coffee to keep everything, my voice going properly. Okay, so the French Immersion Pathway, what is it? The French Immersion Pathway is a curriculum that helps non-native French-speaking students with at least 12 years of pre-university studies to be accepted to undergraduate programs at Université Laval. Students who are accepted into the university will take a series of French courses according to their French proficiency level. For example, a student who speaks very little French will only take French classes during their first 1 or 2 semesters at the university, whereas a student with intermediate French will take a mix of French classes and academic coursework when they arrive at the university. As a student's French level improves, he or she will take fewer French classes and more bachelor's degree courses each semester until eventually the student will be enrolled only in academic courses in French. So this image shows the type of courses that students in the French Immersion Pathway take each semester. This specific example is for a student who does not speak French at all and who plans to complete a bachelor's degree in business administration. The yellow bars represent the number of French courses they will take each semester. The gray bars represent the prerequisite coursework that they need to take in order to begin or before they can begin their academic coursework, like math classes, for example. And finally, the red bars represent the number of academic courses or courses within their major that they will take in later semesters. So as you can see in this particular example, for a student who wants to do a bachelor's degree in business administration and who has very little French, who has a beginner French proficiency level, when the student begins their program in the first year, they'll only take French classes. And that makes sense because they're learning the language for the first time. But as a student improves their French level, they begin taking some prerequisite courses, the gray bars here. The prerequisite courses that are necessary before they can begin their university coursework. So these might be like math courses, for example. And then eventually, as students' French level improves, you can see that they take fewer and fewer French classes and more academic courses. And eventually they get to a point where they're taking only academic courses that are needed for their major. They're taking these courses most likely in French, and they will finish their program after 5 years of study with a bachelor's degree and fluency in French, which is, of course, very important in the job market here. So what are the advantages of the French Immersion Pathway? First, it gives non-native French speakers access to one of the top French language universities in the world and one of the top universities in Canada. On the financial side, degree-seeking students who enroll in French as a second language courses pay the same rates as students from Quebec for these courses. This is a major discount. A very special advantage is the fact that our students learn French at one of the most respected language schools in Canada. And then finally, as I mentioned before, the student will be able to complete university with a high French proficiency level. And that is so important in order to pursue job opportunities and to have a better cultural experience in Quebec. So which programs participate in the French Immersion Pathway? A full list is available on our website, but this slide gives you an idea of the fields of study that are involved with the French Immersion Pathway. You can see that it covers areas like agriculture and food sciences, business administration, science and engineering, and more. So we encourage you to explore the full list of programs on our website. So let's talk a little bit about the admissions requirements for the pathway. The most important thing that you have to know is that students have to meet all of the same academic requirements for admissions as the French-speaking students that apply for the university. So everyone has to be academically qualified for admission. Students must also have had at least 12 years of pre-university schooling. Finally, it's important for students to take the TCF-TP test, the French proficiency test, and submit those results with the application. By taking this test, you'll know what your French level is and how many French courses that you will need to take in order to complete the pathway. And that will give you an idea of how long it will take for you to complete your university studies. So here are a few final details about the French Immersion Program. The duration of the program depends on how strong your French level is before you begin your university studies. Students with a higher French proficiency level when they arrive at Université Laval will not need as many French classes as students who have to learn French from the very beginning. Also, it's important to remember that the bachelor's degree programs at Université Laval last 3 to 4 years, depending on the program. So, for example, a business degree or a degree in some social sciences might take you about 3 years to complete, but a program in engineering, for example, will take about 4 years to complete. So it really depends on the program. And all of that is listed very clearly on the website. You'll know exactly how long your program is going to last. And so finally, let's talk about the price. The tuition rate that you pay each semester will depend on the program that you take and your profile. So for academic courses, Canadian students pay normal rates for Canadians, and international students pay their normal tuition rate for each course. We'll review tuition rates for our academic programs in just a few minutes. For the French as a second language classes, however, degree-seeking students at Université Laval pay Quebec resident tuition rates. So that's around $362 per course this academic year. So it's a significant discount. Since billing happens each semester, when you are doing your budget, it'll be important for you to keep track of the number of French as a second language courses that you're taking compared to the number of academic courses. The more academic courses you take, the higher your bill will be for each semester. And if you have questions about this, please don't hesitate to contact our financial services department. They're always happy to help students to better understand their bill. So now I'd like to give you a brief overview of the admissions process. There are 4 basic steps to this process. Identify your program, prepare your application file, submit the application, and then track it. You can find more information about this process on our website. To find your program, as I mentioned before, you'll need to explore the program directory. We offer many programs though. So if you need help to determine which one is right for you, if the French is a little bit confusing on this website, don't hesitate to contact us. There are student information specialists here like me and like Fred, who are happy to help you to understand the different programs, the requirements, and to help you to choose your program. Within the program description, you'll find the list of admissions requirements and the documents you need to submit with your application. Typically, for undergraduate programs, we'll need to see the transcripts for at least the last 2 years of your high school program. This document will provide us with the information about specific courses that you took and about the grades that you earned. And remember, you'll need to submit your proof of French proficiency, the TCF-TP test, so that we know whether you meet the language requirements for admission or if you will need the French Immersion Pathway, assuming that your program participates in it. The admissions procedure is simple. Complete the online application, upload the required documents, and pay the application fee, which is currently $94.50. That's in Canadian dollars. Everything can be done online. It's important to keep in mind the application deadlines for our programs. The official application deadlines are shown here on the screen, but keep in mind that if you're an international student who needs a study permit to come to Canada, you should apply as early as possible in order to have time to complete your immigration process. So for the fall semester, applying by February 1st should be good enough in order to get you through the admissions and immigration processes in time for the fall semester. But for the winter semester, which begins in January, even though the official deadline is September 15th, we actually recommend that you apply in June or by July 1st, basically, so that you have, again, enough time to complete the process. After you submit your application, check your admissions account regularly. This is where you'll receive your admissions decision or notifications if any additional documents are needed. Once you receive an admissions decision, be sure to accept the offer before the deadline listed on the acceptance letter. And finally, let's talk a little bit about tuition rates for our undergraduate programs. So Quebec is widely known to have some of the most affordable tuition rates in all of North America. For international students, undergraduate tuition rates depend on the program and are currently between 22,000 and 24,000 Canadian dollars per year. Canadians, French students, and French Belgium students pay a reduced tuition rate due to certain government agreements. You should also budget around 14,000 Canadian dollars per year for your living expenses. For more information about this, please don't hesitate to view our website or to contact us. So thank you for your interest in Université Laval and for your attention to this presentation. We invite you to connect with us via the social media platforms shown on the screen. And we also highly encourage you to subscribe to our International Applicants newsletter. You'll receive helpful information, including admissions information, updates when our representatives plan to travel to your area, and more. We don't send out a whole lot of information, so don't worry about being spammed by us. And so with that, I'll go ahead and stop the screen share. And Fred, if you want to join me, we can move on to the question and answer session. Fred, there's a lot of feedback coming in on your microphone. Can we just do a quick audio test? I can't hear you. Sorry, everyone. Just give us a quick moment. We're just going to correct Fred's audio situation. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, wait, I'm just gonna replug my. Is it working?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
good. All right. So everyone, again, just to give you a quick explanation of how this is going to work, if you could please send us your questions using the questions tab, as Carla mentioned earlier on your screen. There's a questions tab. And we need to try to avoid having the same question asked over and over again. So instead of just asking your question right away, please go ahead and take a moment and just look at the different questions that have already been asked. And if you see that somebody asked a question that interests you, go ahead and click on the button to vote for that question, to upvote that question. And basically, I use that information, the upvotes, to help me to determine which questions that I'm going to ask Fred. Fred has a lot of experience in different capacities at the university. He's been here for a long time, so he's going to be a really great person to answer your questions I was going to say this morning, but this afternoon for some of you. Okay, so
Nadia, if you don't mind, I've been answering a few very specific questions for the past 20 minutes. Maybe
okay.
I just give me 2 minutes,
Sure.
because I just want to remind everybody that we are a French language university. So yeah, most of our programs and courses are offered in French. So that's why we're offering the French immersion program. And I know one of you asked the question, you don't need to have a level of French to start off with to be admitted into one of our bachelor's degrees. So even if you have a zero level of French, we will still admit you, but you will have obviously a full year of French to do before beginning your regular bachelor courses. So, but that's offered at the undergraduate side. So if you're looking for a master's or a PhD program, we do not offer right now that immersion program. So we only have one program that's offered entirely in English. It's our MBA Global Business. All our other masters are offered in French. However, if you're looking for a research-based program, so masters with thesis or a doctorate, PhD, you are allowed to do your research in English and write your dissertation or thesis in English. So, but you need approval from your research director. But otherwise, all our other programs are only offered in French. So that's why we're presenting today the French immersion program. That is all.
Okay, thanks, Fred. All right, so we have a question here from Michelle, and I think that this is probably a question that many of our participants are interested in knowing. Do we offer scholarships to international students? And if so, what are the criteria?
Okay. Well, our best scholarship that we offer is at the PhD level. So all our international students that are admitted into a PhD program will pay the same tuition fees as a Quebec student, so which is around 3,200 Canadian dollars per year. So that's the best scholarship we have to offer right now. At the bachelor's and the master's degree, there are a few scholarships available, but it never covers the amount that you will need to come study here in Canada. So you can always go to our scholarship office website, which is www.bbaf.ulaval.ca, and you can browse around and see if any scholarships are available for you. But like I said, you still have to have a significant amount to be able to come to Canada, because when you're applying for your study permit, you will need to demonstrate before even leaving the country that you have the means to well, pay everything at least for the first year of your studies.
Great, thanks, Fred. Okay, so the next question: how does the housing work?
Okay, we have four residence buildings on campus. So they are individual rooms, but you have common kitchens and bathrooms. So right now it costs $382 per month, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, you have the basic furniture with bed. You have the internet and telephone that's included with that. So obviously we have 2,300 available rooms. So obviously we usually have more demand that we have spots available. What I recommend is once you receive an offer of admission, then go make a reservation to make sure that you have a room available for you if you're starting next fall, for example.
Okay, great. And by the way, everybody, I've been sending the links that Fred has been talking about. So the link to the scholarship office, the link to the residence office. I've been sending those links in the chat. Several of these websites are also available in English. So if you click on my link and it sends you to information in French, just look on the top right of the screen and you'll see a little button that will let you change the language to English and in some cases Spanish. Okay, let me go back to the questions here. Okay, so Fred, this is going to be for your immigration hat. Okay,
Right.
can we work while we are studying?
Yes, you can. So as long as you are registered full time for the mandatory semesters of your program, so usually that's the fall and the winter semester, and you need to be registered for at least 12 credits per semester, though. So that's usually around 4 courses per semester. So as long as you are registered and have a valid study permit and CAQ, Certificate of Acceptance of Quebec, which is the provincial document that's required for studying in Quebec. So yeah, you are allowed to work up to 20 hours per week off campus. So as long as you are registered full time, and you're also allowed to work on campus as well. So as long as you don't work more than 20 hours per week.
All right, thank you, Fred. Just going to grab my glasses here because I can see all the questions a little bit better.
You're
Okay.
getting old.
I know. No, you know what it is? It's that blue light coming out the monitor. It can't possibly be my eyes. Okay. Also, you're older than me. Stop. Okay. I knew I had another immigration question in here for you. So, how does the visa process work?
Okay. Let me summarize this in a few sentences. So first thing you have to do is get an offer of admission from Université Laval. So the letter that you will receive from the registrar's office by email will be your official offer of admission. So you need that to apply for your immigration documents. Then you need to have a valid passport. So ideally, the passport should be valid for the duration of your program. Because if your passport expires, say, after 2 years, once you're in Canada, then you will also need to renew your study permit since it is linked to your passport. So once you have your valid passport, then you apply for the Quebec Acceptance Certificate, as you can see on screen. So everything is done online. So you go to the provincial website, you fill out the application form, and then you send a list of documents. Basically, they need your offer of admission as well as your valid passport, and a few other forms to fill out. So it usually takes around 5 weeks to get your CAQ. Once you receive that, you can apply for your study permit. So from the federal government. So same thing, you apply online. You have $150 cost for applying, and you also need to have your biometrics taken. So it will be done in one of our visa office, probably in your country, and some of you may need to do a medical exam as well. So, anyways, you will have the full information on the website that you have in front of your screen. So basically, it's ulaval.ca/immigration. So you'll have all the detailed information on that page. Required. So just to mention, for the getting the study permit, usually there's two things that the immigration officer will be looking for. First of all, make sure that you have the financial resources to be able to come to Canada and do your studies. Yeah, details about proof of financial resources. There's a lot of information on that site. And the next thing is you will need to prove that once you're done with uh, your studies, that if you're not allowed to stay in Canada afterwards, that you'll be able and willing to leave the country and live a comfortable life back in your home country or wherever you end up. So some of you will need to submit a study plan with the study permit application. So basically, to describe what I've just mentioned to you a few moments ago. So yeah, that's a summary of the immigration process. I invite you to go see on that webpage, read it in detail, and also coming in a few weeks. Actually, we're shooting a few immigration capsules, so a few videos that summarize very well each part of the immigration process. So go back on our website. The English version will be online in a few weeks. For those of you that already speak a little bit of French, well, we have the French capsules, the French videos that are already online, and they're very useful. They give you a brief summary of the whole process.
Okay, thanks, Fred. Here's a great question. Is there any support or accommodation provided for job hunting or life after graduation in general?
Yes. So once you're a full-time student, you have access to our I don't know how they translate that, our placement service department at the university. So they can help you out with writing your resume, presentation letter, and they can simulate some job interviews to help you to find a job. So that's something that's offered to all of our students that are registered for us, and you have their access to their services even once you've graduated. So if you're finished with your bachelor's or master's degree and you want to stay in Canada, they can help you out to finding a job, and uh, as well as for immigrations. Well, if you finish your bachelor's degree, you can apply for a postgraduate work permit, which will allow you to work for up to 3 years in Canada. So, and during that time, if you wish, you can always apply for a permanent residency. So yeah, that service is free for all students, and it's included within your tuition fees.
Yeah, and if I can just add some information, Fred. Uh, the website is in French, but of course you'll be learning French while you're here, so that'll be no problem for you by the time you're ready to use their services. But they have some great information here about the labor market, for example. You can actually see data about the different jobs or professions that are available in our area. You can you can look up the faculty, basically the college that you are studying in, and learn more about the kind of program of jobs that are available, the kinds of employers that hire students with that particular type of degree. So it really is a great resource to learn more as well about what kind of career that you can at least begin here in Quebec during or after your studies. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so there are some people here, Fred, who are interested in graduate studies. I'm going to go ahead and find the slide on the costs for graduate studies, but can you start by just telling them about the different like categories of pricing, like research versus non-research and things like that while I find it?
Yeah, sure. So, well, like she said, we have two categories for the deuxième cycle, so the master's or graduate diplomas. So we have professional and research-based programs. So there's not a big difference in tuition fee. It's costs a little less for the master's with research. I think there's probably a $1,000 difference between both. So it's around, if I'm not mistaken, around 17,000 for a research-based master's. Okay, there you go on the screen. Masters with research, so 1 year of academic studies, 16,200 Canadian dollars, and without research, so a professional master's, example, an MBA, it we're close to 18,000 per year. So our master's degree are have a duration of 2 years. Then, as I mentioned a bit earlier, for the doctorate, PhD, which is usually 4 years in length, well, all our international students will benefit from the exemption scholarships. So you'll be paying per year only $3,187. So there's a big advantage of doing a PhD in our university.
And I'd also like to share just a reminder that for those of you who will be degree seeking students here, for the French classes that you take, you don't pay these same tuition rates. You pay actually a very discounted tuition rate that is otherwise only available to Quebec residents. So for each 3 credit French class that you take, the cost is about $362, I believe, Canadian dollars. So it's when you compare that to the cost of a course, for example, the master's without research course, each course is $2,200 for a master's without research, but your French as a second language course would be 360 odd dollars. So it's
Yeah,
very
but
advantageous.
But I mean, Nadia, if let's say a student admitted into our bachelor's program, he does a full year of French immersion. It's the same price as the PhD, so it's going to be $3,100 for a full year of only French courses. Of course, if you're
Exactly.
following regular bachelor's courses within that year, that is more expensive. But the French courses, it's the same tuition fee as a Quebec student, so it's very advantageous to follow these courses here.
And Fred, while we're on the topic of finances, can you talk a little bit about the payment process and whether, like, when are students billed and can they pay in installments?
Yeah, well, you pay for during each semester according to the number of credits for which you registered for. So let's say for the fall semester, which starts in September, usually you get your bill, tuition bill, at the end of September, and you have to pay by mid-October, I think. Same thing for the winter semester. You will get your bill at the end of January, and you'll have to pay by the mid-February. So you pay for each semester.
Okay, thanks, Fred. I'm just going through the questions. Okay, for an MBA, do you need any SAT or GMAT exams?
Nope. we never need the SAT. That's not something that is required in university. The GMAT will be required for if you apply for a PhD at our business faculty. But that's it. We don't ask for a GMAT anywhere else.
Great, thank you. I love how when I hit the question and I say, okay, I'll answer the question live, it then says Nadia Redmond has answered live. I get to have credit for all of the questions that you ask, Fred,
Yeah,
or that
the
you answer.
platformer is lying.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit again, immigration hat? How do we support students with the visa process?
Okay. Well, in many ways. First of all, we do some specific immigration webinars, so that are offered to all our admitted students. So usually we do those starting in March, April. So we to every international student that will be admitted into one of our programs, we will send invitations for these webinars. So we will give a lot of information on how to help you do your applications. I mean, we cannot do the application for you, but we can certainly answer all your questions and give you the basic information of what documents you need to hand in and how what's the amount of money you need to have in your bank account so the IRCC can that the federal immigration government can give you your study permits. So yeah, we answer all your questions, and with our webinars, that's how we usually help you out. But you still need to apply yourself. Otherwise, you'll have to get a immigration lawyer to do it for you.
Okay, great. I'm just doing one last look, but I think we may have answered all of the questions that we can answer today. Let me just take one final look. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think we can go ahead and close out. So what I'm going to do is just share my screen again on our slide that shows the information about how to contact us. Just give me one moment. And so you can go ahead and take a quick screenshot if you'd like so that you can get this information. So again, we highly recommend that you subscribe to our international applicants newsletter because this is where we send out information about like important announcements. So for example, if there are any scholarships that could be interesting to you, or if someone like Fred or I am visiting your home country to participate in a fair or something, and you'd like to come and talk with us. All sorts of handy information will come out in that newsletter, and we only send it out a few times a year, so it won't be something that fills up your inbox. You can also contact us by email. You see our email on the bottom left of the screen, info@ulaval.ca. We do check this box regularly. It's part of our everyday work, and we receive a lot of emails, so we try to respond within a few business days. So, and you can send us messages in English. It's no problem. All of us are able to answer questions in English. And so, yeah, we're happy to help you. Some of you mentioned in your questions that you have specific questions about the program that you're interested in, or that you would like to, or you need to have more information about the kinds of programs that are available to you based on the degree that you already have. Please go ahead and reach out to us by email. We really are happy to help you to choose the right program and to understand the admissions requirements. So with that, Fred and I would just like to thank you so much for participating in today's webinar. It really has been a great pleasure for us to talk with you and to share information with you about our university and the French Immersion program. And we hope to hear from you soon on our social media and by email. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.